leisure_enthusiast donated $5. I've had a hard time recently grappling with the anti-religious history of communism and with Marx's views on religion. Would you be open to discussing how to reconcile your Islamic faith with Marxism-Leninism?
Yeah, reconciling my Islamic faith with Marxism-Leninism. Yeah, I could talk about that, but I don't know when. Yeah, just to, not to go on a detour, but I want you guys to understand that I started out as a Muslim, I became an atheist, Marxist, and then after like 9 or 8 years, I came to the conclusion, which by that time I had no attachment to Islam whatsoever. You have to understand, I had no attachment to Islam. I had no bias in favor of Islam. I didn't care about Islam, right? I still kind of don't, in a way, right? I'm still kind of like a atheist, whatever. I'm not a religious guy who goes to the mosque and all this kind of shit. But just from the strict standpoint of theory, I began to have to entertain the view that, and this is kind of, I don't know, I don't even know how certain I am of this, but that Marxism just takes you back to Islam. But not the Islam that you grew up with, that, you know, is prominent today, but what they were talking about in the 19th century about religion, right? Marx and his Feuerbach and the young Hegelians, that whole scandal about religion in the 19th century, this is what I discovered for certain, right? Had nothing to do with religion in the historical sense. In the 19th century, it was philosophy. It was religion only insofar as it could be translated into the language of philosophy. But the fundamentally objective essence of religion was not really being discussed, right? Religion wasn't being discussed, like, at all, right? What religion's actually about. Wouldn't you have more influence on ortho-Christian writings than Islam? I'm very, perennialist. So perennialism basically means you belong to all, you basically can hop from one religion to the other and basically understand the common truth. And so that's just, I don't have like a tribalistic view of religion, right? I'm a perennialist. So yeah, of course you can't understand Soviet Marxism-Leninism without orthodoxy. You just can't. You know what began everything was, to me, and this was because of people like Nick Land and because of Deleuze and all this kind of French theory stuff, I came to the conclusion that there really is a very clear, there's just something very clearly monotheistic about Marxism. Marxism is monotheistic. It's fundamentally monotheistic, right? There's no Marxism without monotheism. Oneness is very important for Marxism because it's the context of Marx's humanism. Marx's humanism is a monotheistic kind of ontology. And if you don't call it an ontology, it's it's fundamentally metaphysically monotheistic. And the reason, I need to clarify this, the reason Marx has a very strict assumption of monotheism is because for him, the highest insight of philosophy ties back to the lowest reality of humanity. That they belong to one reality. Marx's view is that philosophy and humanity are one reality. It belongs to only one reality. It's not multiple different realities. It's one, right? And then without this context, there's no meaning to Marxism. There's no meaning to what Marx did with Hegel. There's absolutely no meaning to it. And then from there, you know, when you understand theologically, it becomes very clear. Like, when you understand religions are not about dogmatic beliefs in positive supernatural objects, and you just understand religion through the lens of ontology, which is to say that when religions are referring to God and divinity, they're speaking ontologically. They're referring to being. So one God is like one being, for example. They're not referring to supernatural positive realities. They're trying to give expression, they're trying to give a language to our reality in a more fundamental way. Like, the idea that God is someone with whom you can attribute, like, human intentionality to, and, you know, be mad at, and be, you know, like, it's a very modern thing, this idea, I'm angry at God. That's an absurdity historically. What do you mean you're angry at God? What does God mean then, right? You know, when people talking about God, they're trying to refer to something. Islamic civilization is the continuity of Iranic civilization. True. That's actually true. Yes, that's true. But I would also add, and this is what a lot of people neglect, Greco-Roman civilization too. A lot of people don't understand that Islam is also responding to or assimilating the Greco-Roman civilization as well. And the Semitic Abrahamic religions are the crossroads between these two Indo-European empires. You know, between the Byzantines and, at that time, the Sassanids, right? And then Judaism was this crossroads between Hellenic civilization, you know, Roman, Greco-Hellenic civilization, and the Semitic civilization. That's what Christianity was. I mean, most Jews I know hate Hellenics. Yes, but that's what produced Christianity. That merger is what produced Christianity. How did we get to this topic? We're talking about Netflix, right?